Hello, everyone. Welcome to Pat and Dad Sports Talk. We're coming to you as the Braves are in free fall, losing 14 of 17 games, heading into a series with Milwaukee starting tonight. It's been a rough stretch, a lot of speculation, a lot of frustration. And Pat, as you and I had talked about earlier in the year, this was going to be kind of a big year because the Braves are hosting the All-Star game, or Atlanta's hosting the All-Star game. And quite frankly, I don't even know if we have any all stars. So I may throw you off. I may throw you off here, but I'm gonna throw you a curveball before we get into our main topics. But I guess they have to pick one player from the Braves. Who from the Braves do you think can represent the hometown team at the All Star game?
Ooh, good question there. There's been a few guys. Of course, I'm not gonna be like that one guy who just picks every single guy because he's just that fan. Because I really don't think every single guy deserves it. Um, I think if you were to pick one, I think it would have to be Olson or Ozuna. Ozuna, historic walk numbers this year for some reason. Because when you pitch to him, I mean, sure he's gonna hit it hard, but so far this year they've been walking him, but really we haven't seen. You got a guy on second and third. He comes up, get a middle fastball against the Giants, pops it up. Like, why would you walk him? He's missing all these pitches. So as it stands right now, I'd have to give it to Olson, I think. Not that I don't think Ozuna deserves it, but I think Olson's played better so far. Historic defensive season for him. Um, and as we get into our main topic, I was gonna let you say it, but going into that, is he a trade piece? So today our main topic will be: do I think we should buy or sell? In whichever case, who I think we should get or ship off. Um, I have my prospect list here, and a couple ideas for us. So I was thinking, I'm like, well, do I want to buy or sell? I was thinking, well, let's just talk about both. Okay. So to start us off here, we're gonna start if we sell. So our big guy is Ozuna right here. I think there's a lot of guys that you can get for Ozuna. We need at least two top 50 prospects, and then you can throw somebody else in there. People have loved Ozuna so far, and I think if we ship him off, we want to ship him off into about the same. We want to stay in the same organization here, and as I'm eyeing a few that are contenders, but also like they're contenders for the chip, but in my opinion, they don't have the pieces. So there's a few things here. So we have Seattle. Seattle, for the most part, they have good defense, um, pretty good bats, but I think Ozuna would be a nice ad for them. Um, Now, keep in mind, haven't looked into too many of the numbers here, but as I look into these positions, they have some lower list guys here in the top 50 at 33 and 40. Lazaro, Montez, and Cole Young. Lazaro is an outfielder. It doesn't list what left, right, center, but it looks like he's an all around outfielder here. I think he'd be good to slide into left fielder as a future prospect. Um, and I think this would definitely work as he's at 33. And then a big concern for your Braves here is Cole Young. He is a second baseman or shortstop, so he can play either his middle infielder. He's listed at number 40 on this list. I'm trying to think about Seattle's middle infielders. J.P. Crawford, and then I think the second base is kind of like a platoon role. I think Polanco has been sliding in there recently. But I think they would do it for a guy like Marcell Ozuna. Um, it's all stuff that you think about here. All these possible deals, but I think that would be one of the top ones. Um, I'll keep looking on my list here. Uh, and then there's other one for one deals, but I think if you were to do that, you'd have to be more careful because a lot of these top prospects on these higher ranked teams, um, that's when you start getting into more of these NL teams, and you want to be kind of safe who you ship them off to. You don't want to have to play him a bunch because that'll end up killing you. But another guy would be a guy like Max Clark, pretty electric guy. I know some people think, he's not even that good or blah 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 blah. But it's Max Clark. He's pretty electric, and I think he'd really show this fan base what he can do. And then finally with Ozuna, if you wanted to kind of go away with that, or even do this for Olson, so a proven Olson or Ozuna, Jack Caglione, you may be able to slide in a deal there. I know he's got really high upside, but it may take offering two guys. My next guy on the list was Sale, though, so maybe you go, Sale and Ozuna here, double them up and go with somebody on the top list. But I will say, if I want to ship away Sale, I do want a pitcher and a middle infielder. I don't just it better be a pitcher, and if it's not a middle infielder, it better be a top 10 ranked prospect. I don't say ship him away to somebody like the Pirates who has Bubba Chandler, who's right-handed pitcher, because quite frankly, what are they going to do? They're not going to win a lot of games, so why would they ship away a top prospect? They just won't. There's a guy like Travis Banzana, but really, I don't think that you can slide him over into that shortstop role, and I really don't think he's worth these two guys. And really, so what I'm going to say with him, he's getting up there in age. Let's be honest here. He's got I think it's a club option for next year.
Mm-hmm.
So you would want to ship him with Ozuna, or else you're not going to get very much value with that. And as I go down the list, you can kind of see a guy like Aiden Miller, who's a Phillies prospect, but we don't really want to ship these guys to anybody in the division. So anybody who, isn't a huge baseball fan but just watches us, anybody in the division that you ship away, you're gonna play them the most, and most likely they're gonna hurt you the most being in your division. So these two, guys who have a lot of value right now, these aren't the guys that you want to ship away into the division. And then there's catcher prospects. Drake Baldwin, no. We want to keep Drake. Quite frankly, I don't even know that he's not on my list right here, but Sean Murphy, you may just want to ship him away. Give Drake Baldwin that, full-time role. As we kind of look down this list, I don't see a lot of guys that I would trade for both of them. Other than maybe you can try to do a two-team deal, kind of like you did with Murphy and stuff like that. But with that being said, we do have, young guys like Cam Caminiti, ranked 69th. So he's probably going to be around 70 to 75 as he's just young right now. But that gives you trade values if you were to sell. So one more guy, and then we're going to talk about possibly bringing in prospects or, shipping away. For bringing in talent and what prospects we could trade. Sorry, I can't speak.
No,
but we have Acuna here. Now, a lot of you, and I've talked to a lot of people about this. Why? Well, let's look at this kind of trend that's been happening. I know really this is his second big injury. And I was kind of watching some things today. And it was kind of like, does Acuna actually like the Braves? He's talked about wanting to be a longtime Brave, but as you look through his history, talking about the Braves, he didn't like Freddie Freeman. He posts about how he was treated and how they're not treating other guys the same. What does this mean for Acuna and the Braves? So let's talk about shipping him off. Let's get two young guys in Chase Burns and Rhett Lauder here from Cincinnati. I think Cincinnati would be a good place to trade. They got some young guys, and they're going to be trying to compete in that division for, Cincinnati's a competitor, so they're always going to be trying to compete. And I don't think he hurt you that much. He's only there for 3 more years, or up to 2029 till 4, but I'm not too worried about him hurting us there. As you know, they're not in the division, so you're not going to have to play him as much. But let's go away and see like who we could trade to get these bigger names. So going away, we're talking about how we don't want to trade Drake Baldwin. We want him to be here, but let's say we get a big name guy. Let's say we can get Bo Bichette for Drake Baldwin. Now I want to hear your guys' responses in the comments to would you take this deal? I know Bo hasn't been an MVP. Let's put it that way. Bo Bichette hasn't been your MVP, Bo Bichette. But would you guys still take that deal? You would have to sign him. But a lot of these guys you are going to have to sign. So just saying there with, Bo Bichette, who else could you get? Who do you want to target? I'm going to let you kind of speak. What position do you want? And then I'm going to go into who we could get for who we have. So give me two positions.
I'd want a closer. Obviously, we've got a big problem there. So, I mean, if we have any chance of getting to the playoffs this year, let's say we make a big run in the second half, it's not going to happen without a closer. How many games have we just completely blown? So that's one position. You said you wanted one other position.
Yes.
I would say still shortstop.
Alrighty. So we're gonna go away from the Bo Bichette. We're gonna start with the closer role, okay? So there's a few guys who are just some dogs, and there's a few guys who aren't. Iglesias he's off the books after this year. Please do not re-sign him. I don't care what he does. He's too old. There's guys like Johan Duran and Emmanuel Clase. Now I think to get those guys, they're still in their prime, but they're not I don't think that you have to trade away too much. Now let's start with Emmanuel. The Guardians, they've struggled with some health in that rotation. I think that they would take a Cam Caminiti. But also you have to replace that guy that you're trading away, and I think Daysbel Hernandez. I think those are two guys, and I don't think that's necessarily enough. But if I come down here, I don't think that we have many more prospects left that are some top dogs. So let's see who we could trade to get enough guys to get Emmanuel. So we probably need one more top prospect here. I say that you ship off Ozuna. And I think that you could get a guy like Connor Griffin from, probably don't want to trade to the Pirates, and they probably won't trade any young guys. I think Chicago, big contenders, have a great record. I'm trying to think who their DH is. But I think they would gladly take Ozuna any day, no matter who their DH is. So you're going to get Cade Horton. So now Ozuna is off the books. You don't have to worry about signing him, or you just come back to him next year. That's the nice thing. He's you took his offer, and now you can come back and re-sign him in free agency if the numbers look okay. So right. We're going to get off of Ozuna for right now. He's done. So now you have Cade Horton. So let's talk about this trade offer. Cade Horton, Cam Caminiti, and then Daysbel. So you're going to have these guys all for just Emmanuel or Johan. So now you have two starters, which honestly you're doing pretty strong in right now. You have a Schwellenbach, Smith-Shawver, who's pitched great. A little bit off topic here, but we just got news. He will probably he's done for 2025, and there's possibilities of him missing just a little bit of 2026 or the full 2026 due to UCL surgery. So you have plenty of talent there. And also, guys like Reynaldo Lopez. And trust me, there will be plenty of guys who come along. So you do this. I'm going to assume that you get him. But now here's where we come to the tough decision. Do we ship off Acuna for, we're going to want a guy locked down. Okay? Mm-hmm. I wonder if you can put together a package for Fernando Tatis Jr. But that is if you can move him over to the shortstop. He's already locked down. I know it's not as team friendly as Acuna, but who can you ship away to get Fernando Tatis Jr.? Acuna's one, okay? So Acuna's off our books. Look, if it takes big name Strider. If it takes Strider and Acuna to go out and get Fernando Tatis Jr., I'll do that. We're going to move him back to shortstop. We're also going to ship off Allen for some money, because who doesn't want money? Clearly,
Right.
do. They want all the money they can get. So you have Acuna and Strider. I think Strider can be good. I love Strider. I love the personality. I love everything, but I just don't see him going long term. I think that we have a lot of young talent that can take over this rotation and dominate.
Yep.
We have Sale, Schwellenbach, and Reynaldo once he comes back. Well, I don't know if he's back this year. But that comes in, or maybe you trade for a starter, and then you have Smith-Shawver next year. I think that is a great 1-2-3 punch. That means that you can you can put White or call up Kelenic again. Like, we have so many young guys who can be good. That I think we have a big. I can't speak today. I think that we have like a lot of talent that can be really good. But if you want to stay away from Strider, then you have Nacho Alvarez. Like, there's so many guys that we can put out there. So you have Acuna, Nacho, and they have some. They have a second baseman. They kind of have a good platoon there with Cronenworth can play there, and then Gavin Sheets at first base. But what about sending off Ozzy Albies? Not the greatest production this year. I like it. Honestly, I like it. So if you want to stay away from Strider, you go Cunha, Nacho, Ozzy. I think this would lock down Fernando. Have him for like 7 years. And you just move him to shortstop. So let's see here. We have Emmanuel now. And then we have Tatis. So let's look at how we trade away. Cade, Cam and Eddie. Or Cam, geez. Cade Horton and Deisbel Hernandez for Emmanuel Clase. 2 minor leaguers. And who we trade away for Cade Horton? We trade away Ozuna. Okay, big deal. Guy that's probably not coming back. So that's fine. We got it. That was a productive deal in my opinion. Now we have Acuna, who we're not even sure he likes the Braves. We have Nacho Alvarez and Ozzy Albies. Ozzy Albies has not produced, and Nacho hasn't really proven himself. But I think he has a good upside, and I think the Padres would definitely take him. And really, so that's another minor leaguer. And really, after that, maybe you don't even have to ship off Nick Allen. So then you keep your second baseman. Right field, we're gonna get somebody. Okay, there's outfielders that come along all day, every day.
Yep. We'll be getting Profar back.
So that's like plenty of guys.
Yep.
So I'm gonna leave it at that. I just want you guys to think and let us know. Do you think these are good deals? Do you think we should buy or sell at the trade deadline? And who do you think we should? Who do you think we should get? What do you think is the biggest need? But a lot of people forget about Profar, so that's what I want to leave you off on. Do we need an outfielder or do we need a shortstop? Give me an answer, okay?
That's awesome. Those are some good thoughts, and we want to hear from everybody about those thoughts. And we'll talk to you next time. Great job, Pad.